Hey, hi YouTube, how are you? I hope you all guys are doing great. Hi everyone. Um, in this video, we are going to see encapsulation. Okay, sorry, this is the VS Code. Okay, so we are going to see encapsulation, the first pillar of OOPS. But definitely, what we have learned till now is really, really important if you want to be good in all the four pillars. So you should go through all the videos in the on this playlist, and definitely it will be helpful for you. So first of all, let's see. I have already written some code to fast track this video. Let me just clear it. So first of all, let's see what actually you can say encapsulation is. Encapsulation is a way, or or you can say, or is a way to wrap your data, which is variables, and method, which is functions, into a single unit called class. So logically, let's suppose you have a car. You have a car class. It can have multiple different methods like drive, brake. It can also have some data variables like speed, color, brand name. So logically, this should be in a single container, single unit, which is class. This is the simple definition of encapsulation. It gives us it gives us more access to internal details. Okay, like you can think of like capsule. Okay, in capsule we have data, as well as protective layer. Okay, like a capsule has two parts. Okay, if you can imagine like a red and white part. So think it, the red part is like the methods and white part is like the variables. So we have methods as well as the data, which is variables. Okay, so generally Python doesn't enforce strict access like Java and C++. Um, like we have already discussed, I guess, access specifiers. So there you might have already seen that Python doesn't enforce true access specifiers. Just I can give you a small recap if you just want to recap it quickly. We have a class. This is basically a public variable where there is no underscore as a prefix, but if we have one underscore, it is protected so that it should be just accessed by the subclass. And then if we have double underscore, then it is private variable. This public variable can be accessed from outside the class. This protected variable can be also accessed out from outside the class, but is this practice is discouraged and no one use like this. Basically, this is only for subclasses. And also this underscore grade, which is private variable, can be also accessed from outside using name mangling. So if I just run this code, um, what is this 5? So definitely we can access everything, but this two, line number 10 and line number 11, are definitely discouraged because private variable, protected variables are just to. There is a convention that we all developers agree that it should be only accessed in the um, subclasses. We will see what is super and subclasses in the next video, where we will be seeing inheritance, the second pillar of OOPS. And private variables can only be accessed inside the class. Okay, so this is just general convention that we follow, but as you can see, everything we can access it from outside. So Python is not strictly enforcing this thing, but it thinks that the person who is coding is itself adult, and generally we follow that norms. Okay, so okay, so I think we have seen what is encapsulation, where we have to wrap up variables and methods together into a single unit called class. Okay, now let's see. You might ask me that if we have a variable, if we have a method, if we have a variable, let's suppose, let me just create a bank account class. Inside this, let's suppose, oh, sorry, I need to create a class. Okay, I have a bank account class, and let's suppose inside that, let me define a constructor, which takes self and maybe some balance, and we have self dot balance is equals to, maybe let's make this balance as private because we don't want someone from outside to see this balance. Okay, so this is balance. Now you might ask that, okay, this is a private variable, and we all Python developers has agreed that this private variable should be accessed inside the class only, then how it should be updated, or how should we see this, what is the balance? So that's why we learn about getters and setters. So if we have to set the value of this balance, because we cannot directly set it from outside because this is discouraged, so we can have a setter like set balance, or generally we call it as deposit. Okay, so deposit, and deposit will take amount. Now if the amount is more than zero, we can say, okay, more than zero I can say, then we can deposit something. So self dot balance will increase, okay, plus equals to by amount. Okay, then, so this is for setting the balance. Now how we can access it, how we can get it, so that's why we create a getter. So def, we can say get balance self, and it will just give me the balance. So it will return self dot balance. Okay, so it will return the balance. Now if I create a bank account, let's suppose b1 is equals to bank account, and initially let's suppose my balance is 100, and I want to see this, what is my balance. So get sorry, b1 dot get balance, so it will show me the balance. So if I just run this program, maybe see, initial balance is 100 rupees. Now I want to set some balance. Okay, I want to deposit something. So b1 dot deposit, and let's suppose I deposit more 200 rupees, and again I am trying to get my balance. I want to see my balance, get balance. So now definitely the balance should be 300. So see, this is how we use getters and setters. It is also important, and definitely this is a traditional way. Okay, this is a traditional way to use getters and setters. We also have some Pythonic way, but this is pretty simple and pretty effective. Okay, so this is how we access the private variables, because private variables are discouraged to access from outside directly. We cannot set it from outside directly, so we define some methods which are in this scope of this class only, so that they can only access this private methods. Okay, so direct access is blocked and controlled access is allowed, so it allows some controlled access. Generally in Python, like basically this is the OOP style in in Java and C++. So we try to mimic same thing in Python also. That's why we have getters and setters and all. I was talking about some more Pythonic way. Okay, so let's see what can be more Pythonic way. Okay, so let me just comment it out, and maybe I can create another one which can be more Pythonic. So we have a class, and sorry, Pythonic. Uh, let's suppose we want to see our balance. We can also write this getter like this, at the rate property. Okay, so now what actually property does, property is a decorator that lets you use a method like an attribute. How we use an attribute? Simple. S dot name, object dot name, object dot age. Just we use dot and age. We don't have to call this like add some curly braces. So similarly, we can also use this get balance as attribute. So I can just say get balance. It will work because we have added a property decorator. Now just let me just clear it and run it. See, it's working. So property is basically a decorator that lets you use a method like an attribute. It does not make method static or class level. It's just it is still object level, like instance level, you can say. Per object we have this method. The main purpose is to make encapsulation with a cleaner syntax. Simple. And one more thing, you cannot pass any argument in if you have made the method as property, so you should take care of it. Generally where we use properties, whenever you will work on fast API flask backend development, then in your model class, if you want to make some um, like some attributes as a pre-computed thing which are not directly available in the database, you based on, let's suppose you have date of birth, and based on date of birth you are um, trying to find whether the person is eligible for your app or not. So that is a derived property. So it can be inside a method. So instead of treating that particular thing, let's suppose get balance is that particular method inside the model. Instead of treating it as a method, we can treat it as an attribute. So it makes the syntax much more clear. Okay. Now, similarly, can we also make this setter somehow more Pythonic? Yeah, we can make it. So we have some functions like at the rate the method name, which is deposit dot we have setter. Okay. Generally, okay. So when, because this is not defined, it is saying it is not defined, so definitely we have to define something here as just dummy thing like def deposit. We don't take anything, maybe just self and pass. Okay, so now it will work. So this is setter. Okay, so this is more Pythonic way to have a setter. Now what we can do is whenever we are setting it like b1 dot deposit kind of thing, so we can use it as attribute. So we can do like this, b1 dot deposit 200. So if I just run it, it is saying function object has no attribute setter. Function object has no attribute setter, I guess. So what's the thing? We have created a deposit method. We have deposit dot setter property b1 dot deposit, which will be like, okay, we made one mistake that this should be also as a property method. Okay, so then it can access the setter of it, because we are trying to access it as an attribute, so definitely it should be a property. So now it's working. So this is also a way how we can set it up. Basically this is the method name, and then we are using setter. This property you should know um, beforehand, because this is really important. Okay, so property is a decorator that lets you use a method as like an attribute, and we cannot set multiple parameters. In the similar way, this is how we use setter. Setter also cannot take multiple parameters. A setter must take exactly two arguments. First is self and second is the value. So you might ask why we are not passing self, because that's the basic. Self is already passed whenever we are call instance method. Okay. I think that's enough. Okay, one more thing. I told you that we cannot pass multiple arguments in this setter, but you can do some basic engineering like you can make this as tuple, and inside this tuple you can say multiple arguments. Okay, inside this tuple you can pass multiple arguments, and then you can unpack this tuple inside this setter and you can use it. Okay, so this is just for engineering. Okay, you can tweak it as you want. Okay, but for now I can say like encapsulation, just to revise it, encapsulation is a way so that you can bind the variables as well as methods into a single unit, which is called as class. Okay, so that related things should be together. Python does not enforce strict access specifier, but still we have to follow the norms, and we should not access this kind of private variables from outside the class. That's why we have setter and getter. We saw the traditional way, and this is the more Pythonic way. Property is really very helpful. It is used heavily whenever you will work in backend, so you should know it. That's it. Meet you in the next video. In the next video, we are most probably going to see inheritance, which is really important thing. Lots of questions are asked in inheritance. So meet you in the next video. Till then, bye bye. If you have any doubt, let me know in the comment section. I will be feeling very happy to help you all, guys. And if you like this video, please drop a like and hit that subscribe button. Thank you.